Hi, your next challenge is entitled Find the Missing Number. You are to create a function that takes an array of numbers between 1 and 10, excluding one number, and returns the missing number. So check the examples. Notice you have arrays being passed in of size 9. They contain the digits 1 through 10 with one value omitted. Convince yourself that 5 was missing from this first list or array. Same thing, make sure you notice that 10 is missing from the second example and 7 is missing from the third example. We have a couple of notes. The array of numbers will be unsorted and only one number will be missing. So we'll rely on that. Let's go over to code. Please pause and implement this yourself before continuing. So I'm going to use system link, as you may have guessed by now. And I'm going to try to achieve this just in one line using those methods. So let's return. And to start, I want a collection of numbers from 1 to 10. And my strategy will be to go through them and to check if they're contained in this array ARR parameter. And so I'll sort of filter my collection from 1 to 10 that I'm going to build first, and I'll filter it to only include the values that are missing from here. So if array contains whatever number I'm on while I'm iterating through, then I'm going to just continue processing and not include it. So let's start by getting that collection. Do you remember the range method to do that? Range. Pass the first integer in the sequence as parameter 1 and then tell it how many, the number of sequential integers to generate. So you can see that I will do it as start from 1 and do 10 of them. That'll give me an IEnumerable of integer with the values from 1 to 10. And then the second part, like I said, I was going to use where. Remember, we use this as a filter, and we're going to pass it a lambda function to do the filtering for us. And I'm going to use n as my parameter name to represent an integer. And what we're going to do then is to see if the array contains n. And for my output, I only want the number that is not contained, so I'm going to negate that result. So if the number is not contained in the array, then let it pass through. And this should result in only one number getting through, provided the tests are adhering to the rules that they set forth in the challenge. You could make yours more robust. You could not assume that you're going to get just one answer. That would be the safe thing to do. That's what I would do in a real situation. But for here, to do this in one line, I'm going to assume they're giving valid input. And then finally, at this point, I've got a new collection. It should just contain the one value, and then I'm going to use this element at with index of 0 to grab the first and only element. And so that's how you can grab elements from these IEnumerable collections. Feel free to read more on that if you like. And then let's see here. I think this should do it. Let's run it. See what we get. And there you go. All the tests pass. You've got this done in one line. But yeah, in general, I'd say this probably isn't safe to just assume that you have a collection with at least one value populated. I'd probably try to generate that collection first. I'd check the count to make sure there was at least one element, and then at that time I would grab the first element. So feel free to take those extra measures if you like. Otherwise, we'll wrap up this video. Please hit me up in the comments if you have any questions, and we'll see you in the next one.